tell you what brought about the idea.
Okay.
The founders of this organization had 2 children, and when they founded this organization, they were 11 and 9.
Okay.
Very brilliant children. If there's time later, I'll tell you some of the things that they've done. They were traveling to Upper West region, and they stopped at Bandang Kwanta, right, where there's this ancient mosque. It's a very beautiful mosque, and they stopped to look at the mosque. And there was this woman who was selling groundnuts, and she had this little child crawling and was coughing profusely. So the smaller of the 2, the boy, he was 9 years then, asked, but why is it that this child, they have lived all their lives in Accra, they don't know about these hardships and stuff. So he didn't understand why there was a child who was sick and hadn't been taken to hospital. Because for them, when they cough once, they have to be sent to the hospital. And they learned that it's because the mom was too poor to send the child to hospital. Then he said, but the woman is selling granules. Then he paused and said, if these granules, and there were flies all over the granules, if these granules were prepared very well without flies, I would have bought some for the woman to get money to send the child to hospital. That is what started this idea of this economic transfer. So when they came back and they were conversing with their friends, it came up that if only the people in these small communities, these poor people could produce things that we needed, and in a way that will attract us, we'll encourage our friends to buy those things so that they can get some money, at least to take care of themselves and take care of their kids. So this whole idea came up that it is because we are not patronizing the goods of poor people that they are still poor. And it is because the poor people are not processing their things very well to attract us that we also don't what? We also don't patronize those things. You understand? So this economic transformation program, like the rice one, for example, is that they are financing them so that they can produce quality rice and not the one with stones and other things. Right? I'm going to, it will be very difficult maybe to explain it as it is. So I'm taking one example, a live example. Now, these kids have decided that they are going to use rice as one of, they have about 13 products that they are going to embark on. They're going to use rice as one of the things that they are going to use to transform the economy of this country. And they've targeted the 3 northern regions and the Volta region and some parts of the Bronx Ahafo region. Now, these 4 million children and counting, we are doing a massive membership drive from now to the end of December. And we hope to attain about 8 million by the end of the year. Right? These 4 million children are saying that every Wednesday here in Ghana, they are going to take to school a plate of local rice. Right? This plate of local rice, and parents, they are not wicked that they will say, fine, if we are cooking local rice, we'll cook it for only the children. On that day, almost everybody in the house will eat it. So we are looking at, from our calculation, we are looking at about 7.2 million plates of local rice being eaten every Wednesday here in Ghana, which translates to about 48,000 bags, right, of local rice being eaten every Wednesday here in Ghana. Aveme rice, when we did our checks, at their peak, they will produce 31,000 a year. 31,000 bags a year. That's if all the machines are working. We require 48,000 bags a week. So it means we need about 71, 73 times Aveme.
So how is it going to happen?
All right. So the kids are saying that any company or any business that's going to produce 48,000 bags a week is a very lucrative business. So they are not going to allow somebody else to produce it, and they will give that person money. So they themselves want to own that business. So what they've asked me to do, and we are actually working with some assemblies, is to cost. One, we are registering all the youth in these districts that I talked about. Right? Youth.
Not children.
No, youth. Good. Right. The children are going to be the shareholders of the company, and the youth, their senior brothers, are going to be the workers. And starting from the graduates, the university graduates and the polytechnic graduates, what they are saying is that as a graduate, you are not supposed to be just a worker. You are even supposed to employ somebody. So come together of, let's say, 2 university graduates and 3 polytechnic graduates. Then they help you to register as a company. All right. So we do that across the country. Now, the kids are saying that we should work with the assemblies to know...
Rice companies?
No, the assemblies.
No, I'm saying that you're asking that graduates should come together.
Together, yes.
Companies to produce rice?
To produce rice.
Okay.
All right. So we are registering these graduates and registering unskilled and semi-skilled labor as well, those who haven't been to school. Right. So what we are doing now is that we are calculating how much it will cost to produce all this 48,000, the number of tractors that we need, the number of combine harvesters that we need, the number of planters that we need, the number of seeds, chemicals, everything that we need, right? And this cost is going to be divided into shares, and parents are going to acquire these shares for their kids.
Okay.
Right. Now, when these shares...
So the shareholders will be the parents in trust for their children?
For their children.
Okay, because when you raised the issue about that,
yes,
minority came to mind.
I know you're a lawyer, so, you're a lawyer, so these things, yes.
Okay.
Right. So when these shares are acquired, the money for the shares is going to be the contract financing for these graduate groups.
So this is separate from the 1 Ghana cedi per child.
Yes,
that's medical.
That was used to drive membership.
Okay.
Yes.
How much do you expect parents to contribute per child for this project, the rice project?
It's not contribution, it is shares.
Okay.
So it depends on how much you want to buy for your child.
What's the value of a share?
The value of the share is 20 pesos per share, and the minimum that you can buy is 50 shares. So 10 cedis minimum.
10 cedis minimum.
Exactly. But you can buy any amount of money that you want to buy for.
But I need to understand this. So
yes.
You're saying you're registering the rice companies?
No, we are not registering the rice companies. We are registering the youth.
Okay.
Right, generally. And then after that, the university graduates and the poly graduates will come together, and then they will register companies.
How many companies?
Oh, it depends, because the rice...
I'm asking that because of the shares, because you have to actually register a company with a definite number of shares.
No, the shares is a separate thing. The shares is what we are going to use to finance these companies. So what we are doing right now, we are looking at the total quantum.
Okay, but shares from where? Is it shares in a company? Because when you say shares...
No. It's a bit different from what we are talking about.
Okay.
Right. We'll need money to finance this particular program. Okay. And those who are going to consume what is coming out of the program are saying that we are going to finance the production of that thing, so that as we consume and the business grows, then what we are putting as shares will be growing. So they won't just be eating the product, but the more they eat, the more the company will be growing, and the more their shares will also be growing.
Okay, I think that is because of the term shares you use, which is causing the confusion.
Well, okay, maybe.
So it's more like a contribution.
It's or they call it. I've forgotten.
Okay,
there's another.
We can deal with that.
There's something financing. I've forgotten. Maybe
Okay.
So that is how it's going to be. So every child in Ghana is going to have a stake in the production of rice in the north.
Okay.
A stake in the production of rice in Volta region, so that the government will not have to be begging people to eat made in Ghana rice, because they are the owners of the company that is producing the rice. And they'll be consuming it. And the more you consume, the more your shares grow. Okay. So if you're a child of 5 years now, and your father buys shares in your name, let's say a million, 100 Ghana cedis or 200 Ghana cedis, by the time you are 15 years old, even if your father is not alive, at least your shares would have grown, appreciated up to, okay, I'm seizing the shares. The contribution would have grown, appreciated up to a level that you can even continue your education without the help of anybody else.
It sounds very theoretical, don't you think?
It doesn't. It doesn't. Maybe it sounds, but it is not. We have piloted this thing for 5 years now, and there are some little programs that are currently ongoing.
Tell me about some of them.
Yes, there are some farmers, right? There are some farmers who are currently doing groundnuts. Okay. Yes, in the northern region. That some few children from 2 schools, right, financed in that way. And as soon as the groundnuts were ready, the kids were there to take the groundnuts off the farmers. Okay. Right, and then pay the farmers. So whatever they give to the farmers now, I think the second year or so, whatever they give to the farmer is paying that little by little from the buying that the kids are doing. And as I speak, I think the farmer has even paid more than 70%.
So to what use do the kids put the granules that they buy?
Well, for now they are just taking it for their moms.
Okay.
They are just taking it for their moms.
Right.
But the 13 products that we are talking about, they are going to process some of them. This in Katiaboga thing and stuff like that. They are going to have something like cornflakes, right? They have a special drink that they are going to have. This rice that they are going to produce, they are even going to process some into rice pops. This rice krispies kind of thing. Yeah. So, but for the pilot program, it's just a small one that they just took the product.